Hey everybody, this is episode 3 of my series called Ixie Picks, and today I'm going to be breaking down a song called Gold Guns Girls by Metric. It's off of their album Fantasies that came out in 2009, and I discovered them on Pandora, I'm pretty sure. They're a band from Toronto. I don't know a lot about them, but the members are Emily Haynes. She does vocals, synths, guitar, tambourine, harmonica, piano. James Shaw, he plays guitar, synths, theremin, backing vocals. Joshua Winstead, bass, synths, backing vocals. And Jules Scott Key, drums and percussion. Yes, I was reading off of Wikipedia. Oh well. This is just one of my favorite songs, and I really enjoyed listening to the album. It's maybe not the kind of album I would normally get attached to, but I was just like, this is really good songwriting. And I say that because I really like dark, moody music typically, and this has a little bit more of an uplifting or driving feeling. And this song is just so cool. So what I'd like to do is just listen to it with you, and then we'll kind of stop and start it and break it down. All right, Gold Guns Girls by Metric.
All the gold and the guns. Is it ever gonna be enough?
Oh, I think that's a perfect song. That last section with all the layering is so great. So I think it's pretty easy to hear what she's saying, but just in case, here are the lyrics. All the gold and the guns in the world couldn't get you off. All the gold and the guns and the girls couldn't get you off. All the boys, all the choices in the world. I remember when we were gambling to win, everybody else said, better luck next time. I don't want to bend like the bad girls bend. I just want to be your friend. Is it ever going to be enough? And in that chorus, there's like vocal tripling. There's like 3 of her singing get off, get off, get off in this minor chord. I love that. And then second verse is all the lace and the skin in the shop couldn't get you off. All the toys and the tools in the box couldn't get you off. All the noise, all the voices never stop. And then the second like pre-chorus is so cool. She kind of starts the same way and then ends it with I just want to be your friend. Why you giving me a hard time? I remember when we were gambling to win. Everybody else said Oh, okay, we'll figure out the rhythm. And then the kind of outro, she has more and more and more and more and more. And I was just reading a little bit about the song, and she said, Emily said, when Jimmy sent me this song as a rough sketch, I listened to it over and over while watching Scarface, dreaming up ideas. The lyrics I wrote look at greed in all its forms and the fact that we seem programmed to be insatiable. If we could do $1 million video for this song, it would be a remake of that montage scene from Scarface, including the tiger. Okay, so lots of things about this song that I want to talk about. Let's look at just the kind of the chords, because the chords have a lot to do with why the song works so well. And if you know me, then you know I'm obsessed with a certain functional chord called a flat 6. Growing up, I just knew it as that one chord, but now I know it has a name. And it kind of centers, I think, around that chord. There are 3 chords in the song. So it's in A minor. So the first chord is F major, and there's the flat 6. All the gold. And then it moves to G major, which is called a flat 7. It's just the next one up. All the gold. And then it finally gets to A minor and stays there twice. So you have couldn't get you off. And then the chorus, same 3 chords, but just reorganized a little bit. So it starts on the A minor. Get off, get off. Is it ever gonna be enough? There's our flat 6, F major. Is it ever gonna be enough? To the G. Is it ever gonna be enough? This is a nice little tip. If you have some chords in your song, try just sort of reprioritizing them and kind of reordering them for the chorus or verse, because it can kind of give things like a really cohesive flavor, but also it's new and different. So this is responsible for a lot of the beautiful harmony in the song. Starting on flat 6 is like the best, I think, because it's so tense. She goes all the, and there's all this tension in the harmony there. All the 7th and the 9th, all the gold, resolution and the guns, resolution and the girls. And I love how she sort of changes the quality of her voice a bit, or her tone, between these 2 like voices. Her main verse, all the gold, sounds very much like her normal delivery. And then when she sings, couldn't get you off, it sounds like she's, I don't know, it sounds a little more full, and like it's double tracked for one, but it's also just a little bit, couldn't get you off, instead of all the gold, which has almost like a younger sound. Anyway, just little details I really appreciate. Like, she kind of gave the most appropriate or like tasteful delivery for those 2 lines, just using the tone of her voice a bit. And then I also want to talk about, though, even before she starts singing, just this intro. And for the longest time, I experienced rhythmic displacement. So that's when you hear the beat in the wrong place. So if I start over again, I trained myself to finally hear it correctly, which is but for years I thought it was like or something. I thought it was like on the offbeat. So anyway, if you were sort of disoriented, you're not alone. I had to like practice with myself. Like, here's the down beat. And then this sort of like machine gun kind of kick comes in. Okay, sorry. Actually, before that, listen to how it's just like this guitar doing the A. Sounds so much better in guitar. But then on the second chord, which is the flat six, super distorted, buzzy guitar, bass, I'm not sure, goes yeah, it does. It's in fifths, and it creates this nice tension, especially on that flat 7 chord. If you have this, I just love that. It feels like it's creeping up on you and it's gonna like clench down. And then what a great like driving groove, right? Listen how there wasn't like some big transition to her singing. She just kind of like arrives.
And the guns in the world couldn't get you off.
I'm just in love with that line. It's so freaking great. The first time she says, all the guns and the girls, all the gold and the guns in the world couldn't get you off. Second time, all the gold and the guns and the girls couldn't get you off. Really pretty, fast tempo, really straight ahead kind of drum beat. Like I said, it's very driving. Definitely is fun to listen to the song in the car. And then the pre-chorus.
All the gold and the guns and the girls couldn't get you off. All the boys, all the choices in the world.
Okay, so before the pre-chorus, I forgot. This is sort of like you could think of this as like an extended musical phrase or like a truncated musical phrase. All the gold and the guns and the all the guns and the da-da-da. Second time, and then the third time, sorry, that probably didn't make sense. The third time, she just goes, all the boys, all the choices in the world. And it's just like the third time. And then the pre-chorus starts from there. So it's like an uneven phrase. 3 repetitions of something instead of 2 or 4, which is more even in what we kind of expect. I really like that. And I love the variation going up this scale. What is that? Is it pentatonic? Yeah, but it's so beautiful the way she sings that high note. And then this pre-chorus knocks my socks off.
Remember when we were gambling to win? Everybody else said that I want next time. I don't want to bend like a bad girl's band. I just want to be a friend. Is it ever gonna be enough?
I really like the arrangement here. I like that I don't know, is it an acoustic guitar? It sounds more like full-bodied somehow, but it still has that really metallic, clicky sound of the acoustic. I'm not a guitarist, so you guys can tell me. But these really beautiful strums, right? Just kind of filling everything in. And it's alternating, I forgot to mention, just between that flat 6 and flat 7 chord only. So it's avoiding our home chord, which is the A minor, where everything feels settled and at home and finished. It's just going, and I'm pretty sure the guitarist is voicing that second chord as what's called a sus chord. So it doesn't have the major quality anymore. It has this more angular sound, more ambiguous, kind of more open. going to win. Everybody else said, better luck next time. I don't wanna bend like the bad girls bend. I just wanna be a friend. Is it ever gonna be enough? And then you get that payoff of finally going to A minor, and she starts singing Get Off, Get Off. And I mentioned this before. It's on the A minor chord, like this. Get off, get off, get off, get off. And that persists no matter what the chords are doing in the guitar. I tried to earlier like play the get off on the offbeats the way it is and play the da-na-na-na-na, and it just, my brain was like, no thanks. But speaking of that, while she's singing Get Off, there's an accent on the offbeats. It's just like a fun little nerdy coincidence. But it makes it feel like this line, which has lyrical content and meaning, is also very rhythmic. And it's almost like less harmonic, even though it is like a minor chord. It just feels like this sort of stab. Get off, get off, get off, get off on the offbeats. It's just really, I think, creative. One of many really beautiful and interesting vocal layers in this song. All right, let's keep going.
Is it ever gonna be enough? 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 Is it ever gonna be enough?
Great chorus. I'm so in love with her melody writing. Like all of the songs I've heard by Metric, I'm just like, damn, that's a melody. So, da 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 da. Great use of like repetition. It's so hooky. It's so interesting. It's beautiful. It flows so nicely. Couldn't get you off. It's kind of like this blues rundown, and then the chorus is no exception. It's kind of, it comes in really late, so you're kind of left with this like, you know, is it ever gonna be right? So it's just like there's this waiting period. It's so exciting. Is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? Okay, so I don't know if there's a term to summarize this mechanism, but it's something I really love about music. It's when you have a melody or a riff and you repeat it, but the second or third time, whatever, you change just like one note. And it's usually done to add little interest. Maybe the note goes higher this time, so it like lifts things up, or it gives them momentum. But sometimes it's just a product of fitting into whatever chord is happening at the time. So she goes, is it ever gonna be enough? And that note is the fifth of this chord. Second time, is it ever gonna be enough? She could have kept the note the same. What would that sound like? Is it ever gonna be it? Ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? But you feel like there's this sort of uncomfortable tension there. So it feels really natural to just go, never gonna be enough, to fit into this chord. Is it ever gonna be enough? And then kind of slots into that A minor chord. So it just feels like they are really in sync with each other. It's really nice. But you still get the hook and the repetition. And I love these kind of descending lines. Da 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 da. The second time, nice little variation. Ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? This time she goes up higher, and she does that throughout the song, kind of at the end of those repetitions. I really like that. And this time she's kind of left by herself up there. Enough.
Is it ever gonna be enough?
Second verse is awesome. I would say that the arrangement of the second verse and, yeah, especially the second verse and the first verse are very similar. So we're going to move to the second chorus, which has a variation that I really love. I love variations. I think they did such a good job with these. So the second chorus starts out sounding very similar.
All the talk, all the voices never stop. I
Okay, did you hear that bass? This is great. I've listened to the song probably hundreds of times, and I'm still hearing new things. That's how you know the layering's real good. But listen to this. Dun, 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 dun. The bass, that is fun. All right, this time we'll listen to the chorus.
I remember when we were gambling to win. Everybody else said better luck next time. I don't wanna bend like a bad girl's pen. I just wanna be a friend like.
Wait a second. Okay, I could be wrong, but I think maybe the second time on this pre-chorus, the guitar is doing this 7th chord and then doing the full major G major. So F major 7th and then G major. So it could be different from the beginning or the first pre-chorus, but this video is already getting pretty long. So we're going to keep going. Okay, so now she's got this thing. Isn't that brilliant? She's using her voice so creatively. So I always interpreted this as like but in a really rhythmic way. It also kind of sounds like a gun. So she layers the over one of the lyrics.
I just wanna be a friend while you're giving me a hard time.
You're giving me a hard time over the and then she extends this phrase. Last time this is where they would go into the chorus, but this time there's like an extra one which goes.
When we were gambling to win, everybody else said
That's so great. What a great choice. We're left with the machine gun uh-uhs by themselves. And, you know, if you think of it as then it completes the lyric perfectly. Everybody else said okay, and then we get the next chorus.
Is it ever gonna be enough?
I forgot to talk about her vocal harmony. So she's got a really nice subtle vocal harmony under her main melody. Is it ever gonna be enough? Da, 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 da. And I think it's in parallel thirds underneath her. So is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? Enough. Ever gonna be enough? I think.
Ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough?
You hear the machine gun kick kind of there at the beginning of that phrase? End of the phrase.
Is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough? Is it ever gonna be enough?
All right, bridge. Okay, so the guitar. There's that beautiful 7th chord, F major 7th, straight up G major, and then what sounds to me like an A minor add 9, which has this beautiful crunch in it. Hear that? Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's really just a minor chord with a 9th added, or you could think of it as a whole step above the root. It adds that right in between there. I love that. So great chords. And maybe this is what they're doing the entire time and it just doesn't stand out to me until this part. But I love what she's doing with her oohs here. I forgot to mention something. Nice arrangement choice for the second verse. Instead of the buzzy kind of that, I think it's just like a Rhodes piano that she's playing, just like anyway, I don't think very linearly, so this is tough for me. Okay, but we're talking about the oohs. Okay, so before the more and mores come in, okay, so we got a ooh on the bottom, ooh, and in the middle we got ooh. So those are in parallel thirds. Ooh, and on top we have ooh, ooh, I think. Or maybe it's just two voices. Maybe it's just ooh, ooh, and ooh. It's probably that, which is a beautiful set of parallel sixths. Sixths are like the sad, sort of disconnected groupings of thirds. They're just reversed. So they're further apart, and they feel like, it feels like people being like, can't reach. So it's just more emotional sounding, and it brings in different timbres because one note is much higher than the other. So it's like a bigger space between. So that's really beautiful. And I like to sing along with a harmony of my own. I add a third part, so. Okay, but now the more and mores come in. And I have to admit something. I sometimes get teary-eyed when the more and mores come in. It's not that I feel sad. It's that it's just so good that I get like overwhelmed, and I'm just like, fuck, this is a good song. I didn't do it on camera though, but I can't guarantee what's going to happen in just a second. So the more and mores come in, I feel like early, like they always felt like there all these elements that are sort of being added in and layered for this big outro, or like mega chorus, I guess, is they are coming in when you don't expect. And I love that feeling, because this song can have a very like grid-like structure, right? You know, it's very calculated, and you know, the drum beat is programmed, right? So it's very exact. So it's really neat to hear things sort of entering in a more organic timing. I think they did a great job with that. So listen, we got... bigger drums here. Right, here's the middle of the phrase. And at the same time as the more and more, this fades in. So nice. Such a great melody. How do you do it, Emily? She's probably going to be like, I don't know, I just do it. So, more and more. There's a note that she's emphasizing here. That's the ninth. It's that tense, sad note again. More and more and more and more, more and more, more. Love that. But check what happens when it goes to the flat six chord. More and more, more and more, more and more, more and more and more and more. Okay, I think there's a tritone in there, and tritones are like a musical cilantro. It's a very distinctive sound. It's like that. And they can sound really funky. They can sound sassy. Metal music uses them a lot. They can sound really like demented, like evil, awkward. They can sound awkward, but they can also sound like really beautiful. And here's a good example. So, there it is. It's just heartbreaking. More and more, more and more, more and more and more and more. So good. A lot of descending lines. Like, more and more and more and more. And then she adds a vocal harmony on top of that. Oh, I love that guitar comes in right there. So then she's got more and more, more and more. That's hard to do. More and more, more and more. So this one kind of has a little flip up at the end, but it's sort of roughly in parallel thirds again, which is a really nice harmony style. And then this guitar, this da-na-na-na-na-na, which is the start of the song, it comes in also like on the third measure or something of the phrase. So it's kind of like in the middle, and I just freaking love that. all the layers start going, right?
Is it ever gonna be enough? 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 Is it ever gonna be enough?
And then they start peeling the layers away slowly.
Is it ever gonna be enough? 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 Is it ever gonna be enough?
Great track. So if you enjoyed this, we're going to be doing a listening party of their album Art of Doubt this month on my Patreon. So feel free to check that out if you like album listening parties, live streams. Hopefully you can watch the replay. Sometimes they do get blocked when we listen to whole albums, and that's the pits, but it is YouTube. So what are you going to do? Awesome. Have you heard of Metric? Have you heard the song? Have you listened to this album? I'd love to hear from you. I definitely want to listen to more of their music. I find myself, thinking a lot about like their choices and why they're doing things the way they do. And I just think there's a lot of gold and guns and girls to get out of sort of dissecting what they're doing, but also just enjoy it, right? Just enjoy it because it's really great music with killer melody writing. Emily. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining me. Stay tuned for the next episode and for my OK Computer series, which is continuing on my channel. Thanks so much. See you next time.